We're back. Like I don't even know how to act on camera anymore. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's weird to see me. I haven't uploaded a video in like, what has it been, 2 months now? Month and a half, 2 months maybe? I don't know. Well, sorry about that. Basically, kind of short thing of what happened. After I posted my last video, I got sick for a week. And then I've just been busy with school. It's hard. It's hard. Trying to balance this whole thing, but hopefully starting with this video I will be back on track with my normal upload schedule. Let's cross our fingers. Let's hope it stays that way. Anyways, the video is going to be my review of Invincible season 3, and honestly kind of the whole show too, because this once season 3 came out, was my first time ever watching the show. But I'm mostly going to be talking about season 3 because that's what just came out, but I will be giving at least some of my thoughts on the whole show. But yeah, so let's get started. So basically, overall, I would probably give, I would probably give like Invincible overall as like a whole entire show probably like a 9. Probably like a 9 out of 10. Season 3 specifically, I'm still gonna go with I'm gonna go with a 9.5 maybe, or maybe still just a 9 actually. I think season 3 is amazing. Actually, I'll do like some of my thoughts on the show first. I think this show is amazing. I've been loving it so far. I mean, it's definitely like a breath of fresh air, and like having something that is like still like comics and superhero-y, but it's not, like this big like either Marvel or DC thing. It's kind of just like it is its own like individual thing. And from what I know, I haven't read any of the Invincible comics, but from what I can tell and like the things that I've seen of the comics, don't worry, I haven't spoiled myself. But the stuff that I've seen from the comics that is stuff that we've already seen in the show, there are like literal moments in the show that are like literally straight from the comics, like line for line, and that's just something that I really respect, because I feel like it's good that we are getting a an adaptation of a comic and having the storyline of the show like play out exactly of the storyline of the comics, because obviously like with Marvel and stuff like that, obviously it is based on the comics, but I don't think we have like a straight Marvel movie that is a straight like adaptation of one single comic. It's like each movie is like, oh, there's a bit of this comic and a bit of this, and sometimes it's like these like completely original storylines. So I think it's just nice to have like a comic adaptation that is like a straight up adaptation of the comics. But but let's get into that's enough of my thoughts of the show as a whole. Let's get into season 3. I think I'm gonna actually start off with because my like one negative that I have, and I feel like this is just, it's not really a knock at the show. I think it's just more of a personal preference for me, and I think I've heard like a couple other people talk about this, is I just think that, and I think this is also a problem in season 2 of Invincible as well. It's just the storylines are just like kind of all over the place. Like I can't really tell what the overarching storyline of the season is, and I know that's just like a me thing. And if you disagree with that, then that's fine. But I just think that there's like so many, like there's, and I get like there is like the whole overarching thing of like the Viltrumites, and now that Omni-Man is gone, it's Mark's responsibility to prep Earth for the invasion, and Mark doesn't want to do that, and so because of that, there's like a Viltrumite that comes and tries to either convince Mark or try to kill him and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I get that is supposed to be the overarching story of like the whole thing, but I didn't really get like, but if you're going for like specifically this season, I personally really didn't get that. But again, that could just be a me thing. But anyways, but that's my only negative, and the reason why I do give it a 9 out of 10, and it isn't like a perfect 10. So yeah, so that's my only negative. But oh my god, the positives that I could get into in this show are, I think, well, I'll first start off with the characters. I think that most of, if not all of the characters in Invincible are very likable. And even if you don't like them, they're still like compelling characters in my opinion. I think Mark Invincible as a lead is amazing. I love Mark. I love Mark. And I think that and also, but it also just might be me, like I am a big, like, obviously my favorite superhero overall is Spider-Man, and so obviously I have like like I'm drawn to like the teenager characters, as like I am still technically a teenager, but I think, and I feel like as much as I do love Spider-Man, I think that Mark is a more relatable character for me in the position as I am right now, as because Mark is the same age that I am right now. Whereas in like some iterations of Spider-Man, he is like still in high school, and like yeah, I could relate to that when I was in high school, but I'm not anymore, and so it's kind of harder to relate to those things. So yeah, I do love Mark as a character. My favorite character is probably Adam Eve, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. I love Adam Eve. She is probably one of the most badass characters, like at least female characters that I've ever seen, and you can tell that she, like, all she wants is to just help people and save lives, and she's overall just a good person, and her and then leading into her and Mark, I will say, as much as I'm kind of ashamed to say it, I did like, and I think there were some good moments between Mark and Amber. But I broke up. Like, I was a low-key a little bit sad when Mark and Amber broke up. But there, at the same time, I was like, okay, but it's like, it's for the better. And then I see Mark and Eve together, and I'm like, I don't know why I ever, like, not to like hate on Amber, because I feel like I don't hate Amber as much as I've seen people hate Amber, but Mark and Eve are much better together. And also, like, I think I just realized, like, I feel like Mark and Eve are like one of the few, and I think the reason why they work so well together is because they are both superheroes. Because I feel like with most, like, especially with like male superheroes, they get a girlfriend, but then their like girlfriend is just, or any superhero, like, they're like usually like their love interests are like, and I may just be thinking of like Spider-Man here, with like Spider-Man and like MJ or Gwen Stacy, but I feel like a lot of like superhero love interests are just like normal people, and I feel like we don't, and again, I could be wrong in this too, but I feel like we don't really see, at least on screen. I know there probably are a bajillion superhero couples in the comics, but I feel like on screen, not on screen as much, we don't really see like two superheroes as a couple, and I think that is probably the main reason as to why Mark and Eve work so well together, is because they are both superheroes, so they can both relate to each other, and they also, neither one of them has to like, keep their identity a secret or lie to them about what, like, where they're going and stuff like that. They can, just be like, I have a mission, or they can even, do missions together like we see them do. So yeah. And I also love Debbie. Debbie is like, again, when you're talking badass female characters, Debbie is like one of the most, if not the most badass, like, non-superhero character that I've ever seen in a superhero like piece of media. Like, literally, like, she's such a good mom, and like, Debbie is the reason why our Mark of our universe is good, because we find out that the reason as to why Mark is evil in all other universes is because those Marks didn't get to spend as much time with their mom, with Debbie. And I think that just shows how good of a mom she is, that she is the deciding factor of what turned, or what was able to make Mark good in our universe. And like, I just love her for that. I feel like we have to talk about what is probably the two best episodes, which is episodes 7 and 8. And I'll briefly mention the whole storyline with Powerplex. I don't really know how I feel. I don't really know how I feel about his character yet, because, and I understand it's like, the typical, this superhero, like, did something to hurt my family, and like did something to hurt my family, or is like responsible for like my family's death, or did something to me or something like that, and so I'm getting revenge on them. I get that's the kind of villain that Powerplex is supposed to be, but I feel like we've just, in my opinion, not to say that Powerplex is a bad character. I did like Powerplex himself as a character. I just think that whole storyline specifically, I'm just personally getting a bit tired with. And so I didn't really, so like that side, but I feel like I liked him as a character. And his, that was my favorite, when it was like the title, when it was like the title card, and when he was doing his speech, and it was like every time, it was like doing his speech, and like every time he was like saying Invincible, it would like cut to the title card for like a split second. That made me like laugh out loud. But getting back to the episode 7 and 8. Episode 7 with the Invincible War. I think that was a great episode. Again, if you know me, I am a sucker for, seeing multiple versions of the same character. I love Spider-Man No Way Home, so getting to see like Mark and like all these other people fight other Marks was just exactly right up my alley. Even though all these other Marks are evil, and it was like kind of weird to see like it was like I've gotten so used to like seeing Mark be like a good person that just wants to like help everybody, and then to like hear Mark like a different but then to like go to a different Mark and have him being like, oh, I want to like tear people's skin off and like murder them. I'm like, oh my god, but it's like done so well. And I feel like that's just like a testament to Steven Yeun and his voice acting ability, like to be able to not only do incredible voice acting for our Mark, but also he's able to do 18 other Marks. Like I feel like that's like such like talent. But yeah, I love it's hard to pick a favorite of the other Marks. Probably I did like the look of like the Omni, like it was like Mark but in like Omni-Man suit. I love the look of that one. I mean, Sinister Mark, yeah, but that was just a great episode, but that was just like a great episode. And then it led in, it led into, and like that, I think that's the thing as I don't see many people talking about, is that we had all these other Marks come in and basically destroy like places all over the world and cause probably billions of people to die. And then right after that's over, boom, we have Conquest. And I'm like, Conquest come in. And I'm like, Mark can't catch a break? I'm like, really? But anyway, leading into the amazingness that was the finale, the fight with Conquest. Oh my god. What did I tell you? And by the way, I watched watched like the first like 4 episodes of season 3, and then I took a break because Daredevil, because that was when Daredevil Born Again came out, and so I took a little bit of a break, and then once Daredevil Born Again is complete, we'll be getting a review of it. You guys will be getting a review of it. So then I took a little bit of a break, so I binged the last 4 episodes, so episodes 5 through 8, I binged those all in one night. The emotional damage like, and especially with episode, and also, I freaking missed with episode 7, Rex. Like, I don't know about you, but I personally love Rex. And even though, like, in, like, starting off in the show, he didn't, like, start out as, like, one of the best person, because he, like, you know, cheated on Eve, and then cheated on, I think cheated on Duplicate, but then, you know, turned into such this, like, good character, and then, you know, was, like, there for shrinking, and, like, was, like, there for Shrinking Ray when she was, like, considering leaving the team, and, like, just wanting to, like, lead a normal life, and then what does he do? Goes and has to freaking sacrifice himself, and I'm just like, and it was done so well too. Like, I can't remember what the exact line was that he said. Oh, it was like, you see him, like, biting, like, something, and then the mark, I can't remember which mark he's fighting, but the mark he's fighting says, like, oh, you have nothing else to blow up, and then Rex is like, oh yeah, to my skeleton, bitch, or something like that, or it's something like that, and I was just like, and then you just see the building, and then it cuts, like, the outside, and you just see the building explode, and, like, from, like, Ray's point of view, and you're like, come on. But anyways, back to the finale. That had me emotionally damaged. I mean, I thought all three, I thought Mark, well, not Mark, because Mark's the main character, and they couldn't kill him off, but I thought that Oliver was gonna die, and I thought Eve was dead, was gonna die, like, and especially, like, I think when, like, I think all with the almost death with Oliver was more emotional for me, because, like, you're literally watching, and he's literally just, like, about to tear Oliver in half, and I'm just like, you're doing this to a child. And then, like, the noises, but then thank God Mark saved him. And then you get Eve coming in, like, right after she was just in the hospital because a Mark freaking snapped her leg in half. And then Eve goes and comes in, and then I feel like this battle with Conquest is what made me love Eve even more than I already did, because we see her change the density of the freaking air, which, first of all, I'm like, I get that, like, she had limitations to her powers, but I'm like, I don't think we need limitations to her powers, because if she can do that, and then when Conquest had her, and then, like, broke all of her armor, I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, and then when he, like, first he just punched her face, and then I was like, okay, and then I was like, oh, but then I was like, okay, she's fine. I was like, okay, she's fine. Cecil's been able to fix that. Like, she can just, like, and, like, we've seen, like, Angstrom come back from having his face smashed in. She'll be fine. And, like, I'm like, Cecil can totally fix that. But then punched right through her stomach. And then we see her, like, literally falling, and, like, her guts are, like, falling out, and I was like, I literally, like, went, did they just kill Eve like that? And, like, Mark's, you know, already had both his freaking leg broken, freaking both of his arms are broken, and I'm just like, And then, and I'm just like, what just happened? And then like, and then Eve becomes the Phoenix, becomes Jean Grey, becomes the Phoenix, and then heals herself, and then like basically vaporizes Conquest, and then Mark like bashes Conquest's face in with his own head, because all of his other limbs are broken. I'm just like, what? I'm like, what is happening right now? But yeah, that whole scene was amazing. I mean, Conquest, I mean, one of the most evil, like truly evil villains I've seen, personally. Which I feel like is a good thing. I feel like we definitely need more, like true villains now. Because I feel like recently we've been getting a lot of like villains, but then we like try to like there's a part where they add in where like they want us to care about them, and then I'm like, but with Conquest it's like, no, you think Conquest is a true psychopath. But then the monologues, the monologue, I think, like the whisper one where he's like, I don't have any friends. I'm like what? I mean, I guess with that part they were like, oh, like, but I don't think it worked. I don't think that made anybody like Conquest after what he did. And then the like blood heart that he does when him and Mark go to space, and then the one thing that grossed me out was he like I think it was like after he had just punched Eve, and he like licks the blood off of his, I was like, ugh. Like, but amazing. But this show is amazing. But I would give season 3 a basically 9 out of 10. Just the only thing that bugged me was like the not really having a overarching like storyline. But yeah, that is it for this review of Invincible season 3. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.